Hey guys, so in this video I'm gonna inform you guys on some crappy situation that happened to one of our customers. I think it would be good for you guys to see this and learn that this could be prevented if you take the right steps. Our customer Rod, he had a motor built outside of any vendors we use, outside of any partners or sponsors that I work with, but he had a motor built and he had it in his Supra, and he brought his Supra on a trailer and had a couple wiring things for us to do and a couple plumbing things for us to do. Small stuff, and get it up and going for him and take it to go get tuned. Shortly after, the motor gets rod knock and messes up. But there's a key reason what happened here, and watch the video to find out. But what I want to tell you guys is, if you would just be kind of paying closer attention before you dive into something, or maybe look into, let's say, the history of the shop that you're having do your machine work or feedback, that kind of thing, you could save yourself a lot of time and money, because this particular place decided to cut some corners, some really key corners that you don't cut, and they cut those corners and it cost Rod, you know, his motor. Maybe there's some salvageable parts, but most likely not, because they cut a huge corner and it just really sucks for him. And there's really no way to know until it did what it did, and luckily we were able to figure it out, and it's kind of a bad situation, but we're gonna help him get through it and fix it. One other thing though, it's not, just clarifying, it is not Engine Supply. That's our machine shop that we work with. They do great work and we're gonna continue working with them, and they really like to double check their work, and they're proud of their work, and they, you know, they don't cut any corners, and if something's not right, they're like, no dude, take this part back, we're not using it. So those are the kind of people you guys want to work with. If you guys are gonna ask me over and over in the comments, what shop did it? I'm not here to like tell you who did it and point fingers at that person. That's up to his business, his shop, like he's doing what he's doing. So I'm not gonna like talk about that. I'm just here to open your eyes and say like, hey, double check so that this doesn't happen to you, because I've never seen this happen before. This is like a first, and I've seen a lot of motors, a lot of 2Js. So this was a new one, that's why it's on this video, because like, wild that someone thinks they could do this and it's gonna be okay. So anyways, enjoy the video. There's many other things too, like some really cool stuff Rory did to his Supra, so check it out. See you guys soon. Supraland! No, but yes. So this is Peter's Supra, and today he came by and he decided he needs a hyper tune. I'm excited about that. I like hyper tune. So we're back on this motor because I talked to the machine shop. They would like to have the short block to do their specs on measurements for bearings. First I take the timing wheel cover off, and then I find that it's fully interfering with, it's like digging itself into, well, this is like partially off already, but when it's fully pressed on, that's sticking, it's not seated like that, it's like way sticking out. It just ground into the metal. And then I'm like going along, taking these bolts out, thinking like, oh, like look at this, what the hell? I'm thinking like, oh, let me take these apart. See, look at that, it's just grinding into it. I've never seen that ever, ever, ever. Have you? Well, you haven't seen as many as me, but why is there a groove? This is not tight. See how there's a seat like this? I was gonna pull it off because we already had the pan off, but it's kind of like.
But this ring right here is driving the oil pump, right?
Yeah.
So, and then that.
This is grinding against it. That's not the main thing. Okay, feel the texture of this. Does that not feel sandblasted to you? And then look at it. Why is there a brand new oil pump looking like that? That has like a shiny metallic texture to it. It's a used oil pump he sandblasted to look new. And he sandblasted an oil pump, and then he put sand in the entire motor by doing that. Cause feel this? Feels like sandpaper. Feel this? You go to every cam cap on every single one that I've looked at so far on intake cam. Watch this. they all have little grooves everywhere. And every bearing on the rod had little baby grooves in it. Like ground itself in, like where you slide your fingernail along it and there's grooves. And so like, look, how would new oil pump have like a finish? It's like the same color, but it looks like powder coat cover finish on it. And that one has like a rough ground fresh metal. See how this has like a kind of like
this should have a machined finish.
Yeah,
this should have a machined finish. This whole area around here should have a machined finish.
And he already had the wrong water pump. He had the wrong oil. Well, he had a used oil pump. That looks different, like it got sandblasted. He literally sandblasted an oil pump and thinks that it's gonna work out okay. Because he's trying to save himself a couple $100. How's he think that's okay? This is exactly like that other place that I was taking the motor down, and they had a used one of these that they, like for the tensioner, with that they literally sandblasted and Scotch-Brighted, or they didn't sandblast, they just Scotch-Brighted it. They had the head that had fallen down with like, probably just cracked the ear. And they're like, oh, we'll fix that by welding it. But then this part, it's like welded all right there, but this is like needs to be like line board, basically, yeah. Right. I don't know, like that was the same scenario as this. Like, let's piece together, sell it to a customer for $6 grand. See how this looks like sand went through that?
You should be a detective, Dan.
No, just on a motor that I'm like, these are like my children.
I know.
Okay, it's on video.
Sorry, Rod.
Sorry, Rod. We like you, Rod.
Yeah.
This sucks. Remember Rory's Supra? Yes, you guys do. Joe built an exhaust for it. We'll show you in a little bit, because right now we're getting back inside it and doing fitment with this really cool handbrake. Hollinger. And then Joe had to modify this, but make it all beautiful. Good job, Joe.
Thanks, Dan.
We looked at many ways how that it could end up, but then this is, I think, the most appealing visually and functionality. Came out good. And we already had like nuts built in here for the NASCAR style shift boot so that we don't have to have an open hole. That's not here yet though, but we mocked it up off the one that's in the practice car. So he just has the one plate, but he has to box in down below where my hand is down here. The way this one goes is it's reverse, so it's like a push type on the hydro portion. Still mounted in the same spot, but then you don't have to have your master right there. That looks really good though. But does it feel good? Yes, perfect amount. The 4-finger area.
The 4-finger rule.
But that's just in the right spot because you're here, and then you put the clutch in, and you just full throttle upshift with your Hollinger. I think this is gonna be a fun car to drive. If we're lucky, Rory will let me drive it. We're also gonna try and mount this guy soon and make a crank breather on the opposite side of normal, but do you wanna see the exhaust? So this car is gonna be a drift car. It is coming out really nice, like a show car, but we built the exhaust similar to the one that's on like the comp car or practice car, but Joe likes to tuck it up even higher, so he went higher on the last 2 cars. Well, I guess Joe didn't make the one on the comp car, but very similar. And then he made this mount, but we didn't finish it because we need to get some custom machine bushings for here. So all we're doing now is we got the height where we like, and we shoved this piece of wood so that we could build the trans tunnel and other stuff. But exhaust is MIG welded, so it's not as beautiful as TIG weld, but the reason we did this is because I was saying before, drift car, and you're gonna smack it at a couple times because you're on the track, you're not just driving cautiously on the street, you're like throwing it around. So then what we'll do is get ceramic coated black, be all beautiful, but then occasionally it's gonna get scraped here and there. But it should come out, you know, perfect at the beginning, and then depends how hard Rory drives it. Or if he lets a guy with a mullet drive it, that's pretty wild, maybe it'll get the bottom of it scraped a little bit.
You already shown the ducting and stuff?
Oh, not from underneath,
yeah,
no.
This is the first time we've had this car on a lift in quite a while, so we kind of got to appreciate some of the work that we did.
Can the camera see?
Let me turn the light on in there.
Yeah, so like the ducting is like fully boxed in. So all the hot air has to leave out the bottom of the car, and then there's the water pump that you see right there. We're gonna plumb the car soon enough, but right now there's no plumbing. So when we do plumb it, there'll be like that hole off to this side. But for now, you get the point. And like all the hot air just hits this and poof, right out, and it doesn't go onto the cell. And we can put like the gold or silver heat shielding tape there, or like the adhesive from PTP. Yeah, oh, it will definitely all be powder coated satin black. Rory likes black, and satin black seems to be the best way to like kind of hide, like this is satin black and it just looks good with all, you know, supporting colors around it.
Super clean and smooth.
Yeah. And then we had Rory's diff in here. Finally, we didn't ever have it in before, so we finally sealed it up, put RTV on the back, and put all the bolts in, and put some Torco gear oil in there. So that's all set, ready to go drifting. We still need to get Megan arms, and then we need to put new bearings. Well, we'll see. And we need to build a brake kit with Willwood, make a caliper. As soon as my car comes apart for off season, we gotta like jump on the machine work and do that, so we can make a dual caliper bracket in the back, a couple other things, and we need that front bracket for the Willwood calipers. But it's cool to see underneath Rory's car for the first time. We gotta finish welding on here, a couple other lines, but this car's cool.
Another thing
it's like a perfect chassis.
About Rory's car, where Dan's car, the water lines come off the motor and through here and then underneath the car all the way back. Rory's, they just go through the car because they're metal and they're kind of like low pro.
Yep.
Don't take up much room.
Hopefully these will be powder coated satin black too, so it's just everything's gonna be crazy nice on this car. And then it like shouldn't get driven because it's so nice, but then we'll just drive it. And I think if we're lucky, it'll do a Formula Drift round. I think we'll be lucky. Oh, and we're gonna build sway bars coming up here very shortly for this, like how it clamps on there, like the Pro car, but we're gonna try and make it like the next level better. So that's all gonna start happening here pretty soon. All right, Joe's gonna like go eat something to feed his beard, I think. Oh, there's Veach over there. Whoa, what are you doing with that duckbill? Yeah, Veach is...
I don't like break something, you know?
He's pretty serious dude over there. Look at all the Nexen tires that got eaten alive by 2JZs. Well, those are for next year's practice and the off season, but we ate up a lot of Nexens during Winter Jam. I also saved a lot of used ones, like at rounds that are local, when I only, like if I did a qualifying lap and there's like extra meat on it. I mean, these do get heat cycled, so they'll always be a little slipperier, but it won't matter with when you're out there driving in the practice car. And you can just lower the tire pressure more or whatever, but at least you have some tires to burn off. Watch this. I don't know what she's doing. For some reason she's sleeping because she had to be up there today.